Greetings, everyone. This is Stacie Zuercher from Northwest Senior and Disability Services. Once again, it's a little cameo out here at KTIL. And today I'm very excited because I'm meeting with Jennifer Guarcello, who is the principal at Liberty School, and Amanda Cabot, who is the executive director at Tillamook Early Learning Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today? You made it through the rain out here, and
on a
you can't
dreary
tell
day.
It's July, right?
July, yeah.
So there's some really exciting things happening with the Preschool Promise program. Whew, I said it without flubbing it up. I'm so excited. So tell us a little bit about what this means, what Preschool Promise is.
Well, Preschool Promise it's a program that's offering public preschool to the broader community. And really its goal is to reach out to children that have never had exposure to preschool. There's many studies. Schools will tell you that having preschool experience helps them excel later on academically. And so it really is a great introduction to their school career. And so Preschool Promise is reaching out to families that may not otherwise be able to afford preschool. Tuition can get very expensive, and this just offers a different avenue. And it also means that they're being provided quality preschool. They have teachers that have a bachelor's degree or an equivalence in early childhood education. So
wow, that's fantastic.
It is.
So, and this is new for Tillamook, right?
It's really new for the whole state.
It is.
This
Yeah.
is just a new grant coming out, and we're one of the lucky ones.
Well, that's fantastic. So tell me, Jennifer, how does this affect you?
Well, as Amanda mentioned, kids who come into kindergarten who have been to preschool, they're way ahead of the game. In Tillamook, just last year, 30% of our kiddos hadn't been to preschool.
Okay.
And really, in comparison, those kids knew significantly less. If you want to get right down to it, they knew over less than half of what our kids coming in from preschool knew. And so that's very discrepant. And when you're trying to meet the needs of those kiddos, it's really tough because they're such a diverse crew. So for us, this means more kiddos will have access, as Amanda mentioned, some paid slots, some unpaid slots. And really it streamlines it as well, because kindergarten has really changed in the last 5 or 6 years, which means preschool's changing. And so this will give us an opportunity to really streamline that in our community, which we've been working on for a few years, but it hasn't really happened.
Okay. And this is a partnership between multiple schools, correct?
It is.
It will be TELC, which Amanda represents. The ESD will be a part of it. They'll be housing a classroom, but TELC will be managing that, correct?
Yes.
Yep. And then we'll have a classroom at Liberty. So kind of some great venues. And that offers diversity as well in the programs.
It's 35 slots, correct?
Right.
Yeah, 35 public preschool slots with, is it
Another
25? Yeah, for
they're
paid slots.
Wow.
So it's really reaching out to a large number of children and families.
That's fantastic. And so is it just the basic curriculum that you would expect with any preschool, or is there anything special in regards to that, because it is more of a collaboration?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with QRIS, but it's a quality rating system that schools are a part of. And what that really means is that in each classroom you have qualified teachers with a set, I would say, standard of curriculum for students. And that's age appropriate. And that means that we have to follow certain guidelines, that we need to show that we are providing that to students. And Preschool Promise wants to make sure that you're on that rating system. And that's new through Oregon as well. It's a fairly new program.
It is. And it also is allowing us, there is enough flexibility within the grant to allow us to really look at what do the kinder teachers really hope that the kids come in knowing. And so we've got some flexibility in choosing curriculums, but I think together we can kind of pick the best of both worlds.
Sure.
You know, we're certainly more academic because that's the world we live in, where TELC has kind of more the developmental milestones that we're maybe not so familiar with because we're not used to working with 4-year-olds.
Right.
So,
and our goal is to partner together to really have a well-rounded program so that we're getting our children a little bit more kinder ready. And what do those goals look like? And, you know, the school district is looking at those developmental milestones as well. So we're partnering together to really look at the big picture.
And it's here just in Tillamook for right now. Is it going to be expanding to North and South County, or is it too little too early to know?
Well, North County already has the advantage that they have a public preschool through the school district.
Oh, okay.
So they already have that advantage. South County is just a bit small to be a part of it, really, at this point. They don't, I think, have the facilities to really manage such a thing. But it is throughout the Northwest region. So there will be classrooms in Astoria. There will be, I think, possibly Warrenton. I know St. Helens has some things going on, too.
I think that Clatsop, Columbia, Tillamook.
Yes.
Right. We're part of a one big
hub.
grant.
Right. Well, we're going to take just a little break here real quick, if I can find my stuff. Do you know one of those do-it-yourself kind of guys? They're always telling you to do it yourself. Well, sometimes that isn't the best solution, and you're in luck. Whether it's a leaky faucet, complete bathroom remodel, or maybe replacing that septic system, do yourself a favor, call Clark's Plumbing. They're professionals. They'll get it done. Anything new, installations, upgrades, that stopped-up drain, you name it, they can do it. So the next time you hear do it yourself a favor and call 842-5105. That's 842-5105 for the professionals at Clark's Plumbing. I always feel sorry for plumbers because they're the people that get, it's always that urgent call.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
we've got a situation.
Desperate
I'm going to stop talking because I could see that I'm going to go down a road I don't want to go down. But they are great over there. They're really customer service oriented. So once again, this is Stacie, and I am with Jennifer from the principal at Liberty School, and Amanda, who's the executive director at Tillamook Early Learning Center, and we're talking about Preschool Promise. Thanks again for being here this morning.
Thank you.
So, Preschool Promise, it sounds like a really good opportunity for these kids that are not having the opportunity to go to preschool to get that early education. And I love the partnership, and it's just another example of all these really great collaborations between the different agencies and schools in this case. So, what else can we? How if I were a mom and I had a kiddo that I wanted to get into this program, how does that work?
Well, there's an application process, and we have an intake form that asks, what schedule are you looking for? Has your child had preschool experience or exposure? Are they enrolled in another program? Our goal is not to recruit from other programs. It is to reach out to children that have not
That's
been
probably a
exposed to
really
preschool.
important thing
It's
to
really
make sure
important.
that people know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's some great preschools in our community already, and we don't want to undermine them by any means.
But this is to go out and help those kids that maybe otherwise wouldn't be.
Exactly.
And you can pick up applications at the TELC site. You can also pick up applications at the Wilson building. And once you filled out your application, you could submit it to either one of those sites. It's put into our database, and we look to see what program is going to best fit their needs. So each of our classrooms, we have a variety of schedules. We need to meet 900 contact hours through the Preschool Promise program with our students.
Wow.
And the different facilities have shorter days, longer days, follow the school calendar, go year-round. Transportation is offered through some of the programs.
Wow.
So our little guys will be bused at Liberty, and they'll run the regular school day. So
That's
8:15 to
fantastic.
3:15.
Lunch is
Pretty
provided,
amazing.
you
Lunch
said.
and breakfast.
Yes. And we will be sending out award letters to families soon that have already put in their applications, but the application process is still ongoing. We want people to continue putting in their applications.
Okay.
One of the hiccups for us has been the early learning division is kind of still drizzling out information, and so it's not that we don't want to notify parents, and it's not that we don't want to move forward. It's just that we've been we're facing new requirements daily, and so we're trying to get that information out as much as possible.
And what's the screening like to be able to, if you have all these applications, are you getting more applications that you'll be able to accept at this point, or how is that working out so far? Do people even know about it?
I think we still have some slots.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that we want to fill them. I mean,
Yeah.
we have this amazing opportunity when we want to fill them. There could be a point when we get to a wait list. There will be some families who will have to pay based on their income.
Sure.
So, and there will be some families that get it go for free based on their income. So I think we encourage all families to apply. I think that's one thing that we really want to impress upon, and that all of the programs will have the same curriculums.
Yes.
It will be a high standard, strong program, regardless of where the kiddos are attending.
That's fantastic. And I understand that there's some family engagement involved as well.
That's true.
Yes. And it's still, I mean, that's still developing. In the fall, we're going to have a Preschool Promise collaboration with all of the providers. That means the principals, directors, teachers, and we'll be getting together to construct, I believe, really the model of what that looks like, brainstorming and reaching out, what does our parent involvement look like? What does that engagement look like? And developing those sessions. So classes, volunteering, things of that nature.
The increase in standards over the last few years has been really hard. I don't think parents expect it.
Okay.
When they get to kinder, they look at us and think they're going to be readers by the end of the year, but that's what it looks like now. And so I think our role is educating parents on the increased standards. And it is more rigorous, but it's also very possible. And the kids don't even know. They're just having fun at school, but with the increased expectation, they're doing bigger and better things. So I think that will be our role in helping parents know how to work with their kiddos and kind of the trajectory of where their kids are headed in the education system.
Well, and that's an interesting point, is providing some education or support to these parents so that they understand, what they can do at home to support what you're doing in the classroom.
Well, parent involvement is incredibly important. Just the basics of reading to your children, a book or two at bedtime is a huge, huge contribution.
Right.
It really is. They're only with us 6 hours a day, so that leaves a lot of other time in the day.
Right.
And we don't want them sitting in front of the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
and it's interesting. So this is a state standard that it's just bumped up a lot over
it's true.
in recent years.
The state adopted Common Core standards, which are standards across the nation that have been adopted by the majority of the states. And so with that, Oregon has jumped on board. And again, with that, early learning is increasing their standards so that it correlates. If they don't increase their standards, we're not going to have kids ready to come to school, which is really the state's focus now.
And the other piece of this, these kids that are not getting into the pre-K, it's really having an impact on just the day-to-day practice in the classroom, right?
Absolutely. These kiddos, they don't even know how to attend, how to sit, how to raise their hands. Even, just behaviors really slows down what we can teach them.
Right.
So if they've gone to pre-K, they've come in with some skills, both academic and behavioral skills. Teachers can start teaching right away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to start the first 2 months of school just teaching those basic routines. And so that kind of slows us down.
It does, and it impacts everybody.
Exactly.
How big are your classrooms? You guys have fairly small
They're
classrooms?
each going to be about 20. So each room will have 20 students in there.
With 2 adults
yes,
at all times.
2 adults.
2 to
That's
3
great.
adults.
That's chaos is what that is. You're talking to somebody that's not in early childhood education. So
It's kind of fun getting people to come in and take a peek. I think they're pretty surprised. It's not as chaotic as you might think it might be.
That's
I was in a
awesome.
preschool classroom for 20 years and I survived.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding.
Well, this last year I did a Sunday school thing at my church, and I learned really quickly about rules. Because I come from the world of, they're so cute and they're so funny when they're doing all these little behavioral things, and then pretty soon it's just mass chaos, and I think it's cute, and then all of a sudden it's not so cute anymore.
It is not cute. Yeah. No.
Oh, funny. So what does this mean for the community at whole, the Preschool Promise program?
I think, like many things, it's more opportunities. As I mentioned before, we've always had kind of a couple of private preschools in our community, but really that's limited and narrowed to just a few families. Number one, that can get in because they could only teach so many kiddos, and number two, that can afford it. And it's harder and harder to afford these kind of things.
Yeah.
It's also hard for working families who can't take their kiddos to and from midday. And so I think this is offering opportunities even for our working families, such as myself. I couldn't take my kids to preschool.
Sure.
It was important that I find a daycare that could provide that. And so I think that's what this is offering to our families. Situations for all families that kids can be successful.
I love it.
Okay.
And what is this? I was thinking about Tillamook's kind of setting the bar. We're one of the
Absolutely.
counties
We
that
are.
are starting with this. So how did we get that opportunity?
Well, I think probably some foresight and some relationships. Tillamook started working on early learning about 3 years ago. We started working, the school and our local preschool started working together, knowing that this is really where the time needs to be dedicated right now. You know, it starts here. And so I think Tillamook realized that a lot sooner than a lot of communities. And because of our smallness and our relationships, we were able to do that pretty easily.
Wow.
So we also, I think, have a great support through the ESD.
Absolutely. That is a huge part of the success.
I think so. And also from the district, our superintendent's super on board. So Tillamook, actually our school district started a 2-year kinder program this year. So we had pre-Ks, 4-year-olds in our building this year. And so I guess we're trendsetters. I think we don't feel like it right now as we're trying to get everything put together. But I think that we're getting a good jump on this and hopefully have some exciting things to share with other communities so that they can start similar programs.
That's amazing. And the kids, as far as what they're able to do, I was reading the press release and, you know, there's some assistance with just their own self-care and hygiene and all those kinds of things. So Absolutely. It's not, if somebody's not potty trained, for example, it's not, they can still go.
Absolutely.
I think those are important notes to think about.
That's a good point.
Well, it goes back to those developmental milestones. Every single child is different.
Right.
Every single child should be treated accordingly to where they are, what they need, and how we can help them. And so not everybody is always on the same page with toileting. They're not always on the same page with eating skills, all of those things. And that is the benefit of the exposure to preschool, is it's helping those children through those milestones.
Right.
And so there's a whole assessment process probably for you guys to work through to kind of create a plan for each of these kids too. That's
Absolutely.
a big deal.
That's true. The state's doing some mandating of different kinds of assessments, developmental milestone type assessments that we'll utilize that will kind of drive our instruction, which is what we should have. Meet them where they're at.
Well, child guided and child driven.
Yep.
Well, we're going to take another quick break real quick. Said quick twice. Tillamook is farm country, and nobody serves us better than the co-op. From cows and horses to dogs and cats, from the largest farm to the smallest garden, the co-op is your one-stop shop. And for all your FFA and 4-Hers, if you're getting an animal ready for the fair, Tillamook Farmers Co-op will give you 10% off feed, grooming equipment, cages, whatever you need to get your animal ready. Your authorized Purina Feeds dealer. The co-op has been offered quality products since 1936, and that's Tillamook Farmers Co-op. I'm going to tell you a little weird thing. Not that you want to know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. When I was a kid, we'd always go in there. And now, like, when I smell grain, you know how you have those smells that make you happy? That happens to be one of them, feed stores.
The feed stores, they do have their good smells. I won't deny that.
Okay, so we're talking about Preschool Promise, and we've covered a lot of ground. But what have we missed? What are some other things that are really exciting about this program? I really want, if you're just tuning in, Preschool Promise is for people that, regardless of your, financial, stability or what, you should still consider having these kids. If you haven't looked into preschool, go apply for these programs, and tell me again where you would go and how you would get that started, that application process.
Well, over at the Tillamook Early Learning Center, we have applications available.
And that's by the high school, right?
Yes, it's right next door to the high school. Okay. And we have applications in English and in Spanish. You can also pick up those applications at the Wilson Building, and that is located on
3rd Street. Go in through the west entrance. Just park on 3rd Street and go in through that door.
Okay, and these. So tell me a little bit more about, just like what's happening in the classroom with kids. Is there anything special coming up for this year, or at Tillamook Early Learning Center, what's new?
Well, the school district is closed for the summer. Lucky.
I'm on
this
summer.
Year. Yeah, I guess so. Gosh, I'm in a bubble. I'm thinking this year.
But at the Tillamook Early Learning Center, we're still in full swing. So the teachers have really created some really creative, fun activities. Like this week, we're having a circus. And,
Oh, wow.
They're doing like a strongman activity.
Oh, funny.
They have some carnival type things. It's all internal in the classroom. Last week they had a marathon. Just some really, really fun summer activities. And of course, TELC, we're a nonprofit and we run year round, and we're still looking for donations for our scholarship funds because, like we said, Preschool Promise is a mixed model. It's there to provide care for all levels of financial abilities. And, you know, we still want to supply scholarships to families that qualify. So it's an ongoing process of accepting donations towards scholarships.
It's really great to see all this collaboration within the different schools and really trying to do what's right here, provide some opportunities for kids.
It really is. These are all of our kids. I mean, they are going to go to school together forever.
Right.
12th grade.
They are.
It's the best.
Now. And so it's a nice approach for the community to have. One thing I think we should mention, too, is we haven't talked about ages. And
Yeah,
this
I
is
was
for
just
3s
thinking that.
and 4s.
Oh, okay.
Different sites will have different ages. At Liberty, we will only have 4s. But parents of 3s and 4s should be encouraged to apply.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's a big deal, you know, so that especially, and what are the hours that it's going to run and things like that?
It really depends on the program.
It does. I think it's still a work in progress to a certain degree.
Liberties for certain will be 8:15 to 3:15 each day, and our kiddos will be bused. And so again, that's where that intake form comes in. Some of our families don't need that.
Right.
But some of our working families do need that. And so that's where that intake form is kind of giving us guidance on where we place them. TELC has a lot of flexibility.
We have a lot of flexibility. We're open 7:30 to 5:30, and we have care from 2 days a week to 5 days a week, half day, full day, and add-ins. If you're a family that's already enrolled in our program, you can ask for additional days as you need the care. And so that's where I say for us, it's still a little bit of a work in progress. Our Wilson site, the hours will follow closely to the school district's hours. And then the Learning Center, because we offer a variety, will be, taking that in consideration in our intake forms.
And so now I have to ask, Jennifer, do you like being a principal? How long have you been doing it?
This will be my 7th year, going into my 7th year. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I taught kinder and first primarily for 12 years. So little people are kind of my world.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun and pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
And they still love school. And if we can instill that love and keep it going, then we're doing a great
It's a big job.
It is. It is. We had 360 kiddos at Liberty this year.
Really?
We had... The first grade class was the biggest class in the district at 195 kiddos. So Tillamook is growing, shockingly. Maybe it doesn't feel like it, but it is.
That's exciting.
It is. It is. Yeah, I look back. I think I only had 165 kids in my class. So yeah.
Oh, that's very exciting. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how are you doing, Amanda? You're the new executive director. It's been how many months now?
3.
Has it only been 3 months?
Into quite
Holy cow! It feels like it's been a lot longer than that because you were here a few months ago.
I was
right.
2 weeks
your first
into the job. Yes.
So, what are the challenges? How are you feeling about it? Are you getting your pulling up the bootstraps and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, I think it's actually gone really great. I really enjoy it. Jennifer was one of the first people that I got to meet as the director for, many different reasons. And I would have to say, only being in the job 3 months, but starting to feel at home, I would accredit that to the partnerships that have been built. Like Jennifer was saying, that close-knit community. It was really easy for me to step in and try to take off where someone else left off. And so that was great for me. I mean, I'm still learning and jumping into the job with Preschool Promise.
Yeah.
It's
huge, but it's very exciting, and I'm happy to be here at that, point in the game.
Well, and you've got something very measurable. You've been able to see it from the very beginning, and it's exciting. So let's I have a few announcements this morning. So our sponsors today, as a reminder, were Clark's Plumbing and Tillamook Farmers Co-op. Happy birthday to Jerry Underwood and Sally Underwood. And tomorrow I'll be back, and I'll be here with Michelle Bradley from the Port of Tillamook Bay. Reminder that senior meals are noon every weekday at the Kiwanis Center in Pacific City. The cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for any other guest. Friday through Sunday is the 57th annual Dory Days in Pacific City. Oh boy, look out, South County.
Right.
Saturday morning, the annual Nestucca Volunteer Firefighters Association Pancake Breakfast is from 7 to 10 at the Kiwanis Center, followed by the parade at Saturday at 11, and then the fish fry back at the community center that afternoon. The Wave has a Dory Day schedule and complimentary shuttle services running loops through town, and you can check that out at tillamookbus.com. That's a really good point. I was talking with Doug over at the transportation department, and having that bus down there to give people rides is going to be new, but they've got lots of signs. Kathy Bond's working really hard so that people know about it, and so I'm excited that they're going to do that. It'll hopefully make it easy. So Saturday is the Master Gardener's Spade and Wade Garden Tour. $18 passports include a self-guided tour of 6 gardens in Tillamook County. You can purchase them online at the Pioneer Museum, Bear Creek Artichokes, or Hidden Acres. And then Saturday is also a Cause for Paws fundraiser at Goodspeed Park from 10 to 2. And the walk starts at 11, followed by a silent auction, raffles, live entertainment, face painting, photo booth, bouncy houses, and so much more. This family-friendly event is open to the public and their canine friends, all proceeds benefit the Tillamook Animal Shelter. Reminder that the farmers markets continue to be underway. Friday in Manzanita from 5 to 8, Saturday in Tillamook from 9 to 2, and Audio Tattoo plays live here in Tillamook, and then the Garibaldi Maritime Museum will be at the community table. Saturday, the farmers market's in Neskowin from 9 to 1. Sunday in PC from 10 to 2. And Dory Dancing Day with Middle Earth Tribal Belly Dance Troupe shows are at 11 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. So, that's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff going on in
I
your
need to
little
take
county.
a breath. Thank you again, Jennifer and Amanda, for being here today. It's really fun to learn about all the hard work you're doing to enrich the education of our little people in Tillamook County.
Thank you.